This man was trapped at the edge of a ravine. He didn't dare move. Soft, marshy sand lay before him and hard rocks below. He had been stuck there for 3 hours. When his courage began to fail, he started speaking to himself softly. He wasn't panicking, he was counting the time. He listened intently to the sound of waves crashing against the rocks and the ebb and flow of the tide. As the next strong wave came, he seized his only chance. He let go with both hands and fell about 100 meters down. He had escaped certain death, but the water was very shallow. As he fell, his back hit the jagged rocks. The pain spread throughout his body and he lost consciousness. The will to survive brought him back to consciousness. Enduring the pain, he crawled up onto a nearby rock. A sharp pain shot through his palm. His hand had been cut by a deep wound. He drew in a cold breath, but at least he was alive. He took another step. Then a sharp crack sounded, and his legs gave out. Everything went dark again. He didn't know how much time had passed. The waves woke him up again. He tried to move his legs, but he felt nothing. He had severely injured his back in the fall, and both his legs had gone numb. Disappointed, he remembered the phone in his bag. He took it out, but the seawater had ruined it. His hope was shirt and improvised a bandage for his wounds. Just then, he saw a small island in the distance. It was his last hope. Dragging his broken body, he waded into the sea and began to swim with one hand. A few meters later, a sharp pain shot through his stomach, and he began to sink. But his will to survive forced him to fight again. Somehow, he made it to the surface, but his strength was gone. The next moment, darkness fell before his eyes, and his body began to sink. Then he remembered his wife waiting for him at home. His courage returned, and he kicked with all his might. He surfaced again. He no longer had the strength to reach the island, so he dragged himself back onto the sand. He made a sign of help in the sand. Time passed, and his condition worsened. Then his hand hit a surfboard. He made one last gamble. He lay on the board and pushed himself into the waves. His last strength was gone, and his body began to sink again. This time, his face was calm. Then, a small boat appeared. The rescue team immediately jumped into the water and pulled him out. He survived. Years later, he returned to that same beach with his wife. The sea breeze was still the same, but the fear was gone. Only his courage remained. If life asks you to fight until your last breath, will you give up or will you fight to the very end?